It's a big welcome to episode 11 of Inside the Video Store. Again, thank you for watching. Great to see so many comments this week. Really cool. A bit of a funny week, to be honest, because there's no what's in the box, because there's no big delivery. A few coming in though. We've got an MVD delivery due soon, a Vinegar Syndrome due soon, and an Amazon delivery due soon as well from across the way in America. So there's some really good stuff coming in. Nothing this week, so it's nice to have a bit of a break. And also the fresh produce is a little bit diminished, but I'll explain that later. Anyway, let's see what we've got. First in this week, but a bit of a muted week for contemporary films. First up, we have the new Todd Haynes film, May December. Big Todd Haynes fan. How can you not like Far From Heaven? Velvet Goldmine, Carol. Velvet Goldmine is just one of my favourite films. The soundtrack is sublime. I know it got panned a little bit when it got released, but I really do look back on that film quite regularly. And I think it's so cool, really cool. Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, just brilliant performance. Todd Haynes, great director. May December, I don't know much about it. I know it was acquired in the UK for Sky, which is quite interesting because it was acquired in the UK for Sky, so we have a DVD and Blu-ray release here, but in the US it was acquired by Netflix, wasn't it? So do you have a physical copy of this in the US, because it's been acquired by Netflix? Because Netflix don't release their stuff on the physical media, so I'm guessing there's a physical UK release but not a physical US release. Is that the case? I don't know. Anyway, it's about a relationship between a married couple with a 23-year age gap, which after some time causes a little bit of an issue. But yeah, it looks like a great drama. It got amazing reviews, so really looking forward to that. Next up, we have Muzzle with Aaron Eckhart, who plays an LAPD K9 cop. Dog dies, spoiler alert, and he wants to find out who's responsible. Jim Belushi style K9 this isn't. But to be honest, Aaron Eckhart is a fairly credible name in DTV, isn't he? You see his name on a film and you don't have that kind of shudder effect that you might have done with, I don't know, Nicolas Cage maybe 5 or 6 years ago when he was pumping out some really woeful stuff like, was it 211 or something? I forget, but that was a shocker. Aaron Eckhart tends to be pretty consistent. Stuff like Rumble Through the Dark was good. Wonder was good with Tommy Lee Jones. A good, solid direct-to-video name, and Muzzle looks pretty good. Next up, we have the team behind Infernal Affairs are reunited in The Goldfinger. As you know, Infernal Affairs was the original film that came before Martin Scorsese's The Departed. Brilliant film, spawned a trilogy, which is just an amazing set of films. I think they got the Criterion treatment, didn't they, at one point? Yeah. So this looks really interesting. It's based on a true story of the Carrion Group, which is a corporation from the 1980s that got caught up in a corruption scandal. Looks interesting, bit of an epic, I do like the look of that. Two great actors, Tony Young and Andy Lau, so you cannot go wrong. That is the contemporary releases this week. Onto the boutiques. Now we missing quite a few. We should have a threesome from 88 Films. We should have Hanny Calder, part of the Targon collection. We should have The Body Stealers, part of the Targon collection, and we should have Fearless Hyena 2 with Jackie Chan. Unfortunately, they've let me down. It's a rarity, to be honest, because 88 are very, very good with shipping and all that kind of thing. But other than last Thursday evening, and they didn't get shipped till I think it was Monday. No sign Tuesday, no sign today. But weirdly, very weirdly, I ordered next week's boutiques from 88 on Monday, and they're here today. So, just a bizarre scenario. But I'm not going to spoil next week's, because next week's a really special week with some great releases. So I've got a Stephen Chow film over there and a Roger Moore film. But we will look at those more in depth next week with the other releases. And there is quite a few. Well, these 88 films from this week will join them. But yeah, that's a mystery. It's a bit annoying, because you do like to order direct. I always try and order direct from 88, Indicator, Eureka, Radiance, etc., etc. Because it's important. It's important to give them the money direct. But you do always kind of have a nagging thing whereby you feel as though you're less in control of that order. You order from Amazon, and yes, they have their very broad range of negatives. But normally, 99 times out of 100, when something says it'll be delivered tomorrow, it's delivered tomorrow. But yeah, ordering direct from the indies can be fraught with a few perilous scenarios. But like all the boutiques I've ordered for next week, and there are lots, they're all on the way here already. So, there's advantages and disadvantages. Unfortunately, once in a blue moon, you will have a parcel that takes a little bit of a while to get here. But I'm sure it'll be here tomorrow, and in that case, we will feature it on top of next week's boutiques. There are still some boutiques here, though. Now, this is an interesting one. Jack the Ripper. It is the old TV miniseries, I think, wasn't it, from 1988? Michael Caine is in it, Armand Assante, Lewis Collins, Jane Seymour, Susan George. 3+ hours, 2-disc set on Blu-ray. But most importantly, this is the debut release from Old Gold Media. Old Gold Media, new label on the block. This is run by the guy who used to be at the head of Fremantle, which is another UK distributor, mainly specialised in a little bit of niche sports stuff and a little bit of TV and that kind of thing. Anyway, the guy that was running Fremantle has now gone to form Old Gold Media, and he seems to be mining the old network catalogue. So that's pretty exciting. So hopefully, I've hopped on about this for 10 weeks now. Some of the network films we've got in here, and there are hundreds, I do wonder that they'll never see the light of day again. But now we have this new label, and now it looks like the old network catalogue is coming back out in some little bits, drip, drip, drip. Then hopefully we can see some of the network classics that we didn't get first time round on DVD and Blu-ray again. So that's really cool. But yeah, Jack the Ripper is the first one from Old Gold Media. Check them out on Blu-ray.com, and I don't think they've got a website, don't think they've got much of a social media profile, so you'll have to be canny to see what's coming from that label. Finally, we mentioned Martin Scorsese just then. We have the Criterion Blu-ray of Raging Bull. One of the greatest films ever made. This is my first Criterion 4K Blu-ray combo. There we are, with the 4K and the Blu-ray, which is great. I do like a combo. I don't like a 4K by itself, because such a small proportion of my customers have got 4K. It's great to have the alternative. I know I've already got it on Blu-ray anyway, but this is a great addition. There's new 4K master approved by Scorsese, and 3 audio commentaries and loads of new stuff, new video essays, television interviews with Lord Motta, a great booklet with loads of essays. So very great set. Pleased that it's a dual format. More of this, please, Criterion. Very cool indeed. That is this week's Fresh Produce. And no, Santa Fe Trail from last week as well was meant to be here, but that has still got AWOL. Has anyone got Santa Fe Trail yet from UK Warner Archive? Or is that just one that seems to have been put back indefinitely? I don't know. We shall see. But for now, that is all that is new. Welcome to On Tour. Interesting one. Apologies for the camera angle, but working solo, this is kind of the best deal I could come up with. We're going to take a look at the SyFy and Asylum section. I realize that to most people, you're already reaching for the fast forward button, and this is of no interest whatsoever to you. And I can understand that, because you think to yourself, well, you've got a video store, which essentially is one of the last in the country. Therefore, your role changes from a video store to more of an archive. So you're archiving films that are maybe hard to find, hard to get, and perhaps you should be archiving those in order. You should be prioritizing those in order of demand and in order of longevity and in order of quality, maybe. And you look at all this space given to SyFy and Asylum, and you kind of think, well, why have you done that? It doesn't make sense. You could have a section devoted to all kinds of amazing world cinema rarities and weird labels that I don't stock and stuff like that. And you think, well, yeah, that is kind of the case. But there's a part of me that thinks, well, do what you want to do. Do what you feel necessary. And to me, it's this stuff that means quite a lot to me, because I've written about it extensively in the past. I've spoken about it on podcasts extensively in the past. And it just seems like a really important, I don't know, I just love these films. I just love these films. And a lot of people, they come in through the door, obviously, and they look up at this rather shaky looking shelf, and they think, well, where do I even begin? And it's a tricky one. You've got a combination here of SyFy, that is original films made for the SyFy channel, and Asylum Movies, that low budget little film label that's run by David Michael Latt, known ordinarily for things like Sharknado and the mockbusters, stuff like Transmorphers and I Am Omega and stuff like that. And most people discount them immediately, but there's some really good stuff there. Anyway, I'm going to be really awkward and turn my back to you and pluck out some stuff that's really cool. We're going to start at Z and work our way backwards. So, for example, this is one of my favorite Asylum movies. It's called Zombies. Excellent creature feature, excellent creature feature. Deserves to be seen. It's great fun. If you view Asylum as Sharknado and that's it, then you're missing out on really cool films like that. So that's great. Switching to SyFy, a lot of people view the SyFy channel as just really lame, low budget, made to order movies with really crappy special effects. And yeah, I can see that to some degree, but you find some really cool people there. Like, you get really cool auteurs. I mean, like, here's Jeff Burr, good old Jeff Burr from a Whisper Through a Scream. He did a really cool SyFy movie called Tornado Warning. Then also you got people like Fred Olen Ray, Super Shark, which is now a mega rarity and it's going for crazy money on eBay. But yeah, good little shark movie. And then you just get loads of creature features that are just absolutely spectacular. Some of my favorite creature features aired originally on the SyFy channel. For example, Mansquito, or Mosquito Man as it's known over here. Tipotacach, brilliant creature feature, dark, noirish. It's really, really cool. And yeah, deserves your attention. I'd also point out Lava. Again, really love it. Tim Cox made it. William Forsythe is amazing in this kind of conspiracy theory sort of thing. Small town America. It's a very, very good creature feature, and I wholly recommend that. Apologies if my mic is scratching every time I move. Who else we got? I got some more auteurs. Tibor again, Takach for Mega Snake, which, if you're looking for a really long snake, this is your film. Back to Asylum. I'd like to say, a lot of people view Asylum as bottom of the barrel stuff, but they started out making some really good films. Okay, I'll quantify that. Maybe not really good in terms of what you would view as really good, but in terms of what you would associate them with, they're way above the bar. Stuff like, well, this is one of my favorites. Gary Jones. I mean, Gary Jones directed it. Gary Jones, Rumpelstiltskin, Mosquito. It's great. Jolly Roger, Massacre at Cutter's Cove. This is one of their best films. I'd also recommend The Hitchhiker. Also, a lot of these DVDs that the Asylum are putting out, they were great. I mean, this is early first generation DVD. But Lee Scott, he's put a director's commentary on that. He's done a making of. There's music videos. Some of these early DVDs for the Asylum were stacked with special features. I'd also pull out Mark Atkins' Halloween Night, which is half decent. That's a good Asylum movie. And also Freak Show, I reckon. Yeah, that's a good one. I think as a quartet, if you go through that quartet I just mentioned of the early Asylum movies, then you'll be very, very happy. I'm going to move the footstool. Apologies for the noise. Maybe blank that out. Another good auteur that did SyFy movies is Kevin Van Hook. Made two really excellent films, both of which I recommend. Both are here. The Fallen Ones, which is Casper Van Dien, have this on Blu-ray. Robert Wagner's in it and Tom Bosley. It's a great film. Really do love that. Hence the upgrade to Blu-ray. And also, I mean, this is really bleak for SyFy, but it's a good film. Again, Kevin Van Hook. It's Stacy Keach and Jake Busey in Death Row, which is excellent. And yeah, that's about it. A couple more Asylums I can throw your way. Namely, Beast of Bray Road, which I think is a cool little low-budget movie. Another Lee Scott film, who of course directed The Hitchhiker. And one last one recent one they've done, which I really thought was good, was Ape vs. Monster. And I've also got a sequel there, Ape vs. Mecha Ape. Right, tongue twister. But yeah, these are decent films. Not a massive budget, but they're all right, you know. But they are all right. So yeah, like I say, I've got 300 films, all from the Asylum and SyFy channel. You can cherry pick. There are some stinkers there, which is fine. But in the most part, I think they're really entertaining films. You see, you go back, you look at stuff that's, I mean, I just paid a stupid amount of money for a Robot Monster Blu-ray. I mean, Robot Monster, 1953, I think it was. It's not a good film. But the way we look back at 50s SyFy, we kind of hold it now in that regard as being quite cool and quite good. We recognize it's not the best, but we know that we should spend some time admiring it and appreciating it. And I think that a lot of modern day SyFy channel original features and a lot of modern day Asylum movies are the equivalent of the 50s monster movie. Yes, it doesn't have the Cold War angle and stuff like that. It doesn't have the political aspect to it. But I do think that they're all really, really cool films. And just great entertainment. Because that's what films are, essentially, aren't they? They're entertainment. And I think sometimes we're too eager to shrug something off under the knowledge that they're just not cool. And these aren't cool, but I think they are cool. So, you know, you can take what you will. I think to describe that, I mean, whenever I do a commentary, like an audio commentary, and I go home after it, you're kind of tired, you're kind of exhausted. It's a type of film you put on after a hard day at work, just to forget about the world, just to enjoy some average digital effects, some average acting, and just a really enjoyable, whacked out story that is just preposterous, but is great fun. So yeah, that's why I'm championing SyFy and the Asylum. Let's have a look at what's been going out on loan. Funny week, really, because kind of the sun broke out over here in Merseyside last week, and kind of signalled the start of summer. And normally that does mean that your rentals are going to drop off slightly, because some people are seasonal renters, that they will rent from, say, September through till March, April, and then over the summer they've got other things to do, outdoor pursuits, gardening. They have something called, I forget, kids. I don't know. But yeah, these things can tend to become a thing. And so people, you see some people a little bit less during the summer, and they come more in the autumn and winter. So I kind of did expect a slightly quieter week, but lo and behold, it was a busier week than normal. I don't know why. Um, some great films going out. One thing that's really surprised me is the popularity of Evil Dead Trap. Normally, when I get a boutique release, it tends to be um, with the idea of it performing over the course of 2 years, 3 years. You know, you get a brand new rental release, you hope to break even on that within 2 to 3 weeks. But with a boutique release, it tends to be a 2 to 3 year plan where over the course of 2 to 3 years, you think you might just break even. But no, Evil Dead Trap already, that's, in the black. People love it. People are renting it. In the main, people are liking it. Some people are a little bit disappointed with it. Didn't quite live up to their expectations, but in the main, they do like it. But I'm really surprised on about how regularly that's going out. One from Gaz, someone in the comments last week recommended Three Extremes. I know you saw last week that Gaz is doing a portmanteau season. And he reckons he's seen Three Extremes before, and I reckon he has too. But in this case, there's also Three Extremes 2. So he's taken that one as well. I don't think he's seen that. Because that's one thing you'll notice here at Snips. If you ever are after a franchise or a couple of sequels, in the main, I do tend to hold them both in the same case. Because you may have realised that I'm short of space due to the sheer volume of films here. So, for example, Jack Frost 2 is in the same case. You get the gist of it. It's Alive, Larry Cohen's film. It's Alive 2, It's Alive 3 in the same case. So just to save a bit of space, I do like to, I don't like to, but I do find myself keeping films in the same case just to say, I Spit on Your Grave 1, 2 and 3. So it just enables me to stock a larger range of titles. So yeah, Three Extremes 1 and 2 is in the home of Mr. Gaz right now. So hopefully he'll enjoy those. And thanks for the recommendation. One of my customers took Ghostwatch this week. I know Ghostwatch has been hot on people's lips recently with the release of something on Shudder, Late Night with the Devil, was it? Comparisons there. Interesting. I saw this the day it aired, and of course, watching it when it aired has a slightly different. It resonates slightly differently when you watch it today as a grown adult. So it'll be interesting to see what that customer thinks and how, if they're as terrified as I was back in 1935 or whenever it was. Less Than Zero went out this week, which is an interesting one. One of those mid-80s films I've not seen, based on, of course, the Bret Easton Ellis novel, and starring Andrew McCarthy and Robert Downey Jr. Never seen this. So yeah, that reminded me, when someone rented it, it reminded me that I must have a look at that at some point, because it looks like my cup of tea. Woody, still going out. Also connected slightly to Ghost Watch in the terms of the BBC and the BFI is Ghost Stories. We had a customer come in for Whistle, and I'll Come to You, one of the greatest, scariest movies of all time, and it's absolutely chilling. I remember having not an argument or kind of a minor quibble, minor conflict with a customer when I recommended them Whistle and I'll Come to You, the 1968 original by Jonathan Miller. But it's a PG. How could it be scary if it's a PG? PGs aren't scary. And that's just nonsense, isn't it? I mean, Jesus Christ, what is wrong with people? Yeah, terrifying film, absolutely terrifying. So it's only short as well, isn't it? But yeah, wow, what 42 minutes. Wow, what a piece of filmmaking. Just utterly terrifying, brilliant. Love to see stuff like that going out. A braver man than me is young Matthew, who's rented Singapore Sling this week. I picked it up a few times since it came in from Vinegar Syndrome, but I don't know, just haven't been in the mood to watch it yet. It's kind of one of those films that looks incredibly challenging. And yeah, I will get around to it, but probably when the schedule is a little lighter. But yeah, looks great, but kind of envious that he's made the brave move to take it home. And finally, I love it when these things happen, I really do. On Friday, I had two customers in the space of an hour, both wanting to rent Paul Schrader's Mishima, A Life in Four Chapters. Just what are the odds? What are the odds? You got 16,000 films. Two people come in on the same day for the same thing within an hour of each other. Crazy. Again, this is one of those films that's been really, really, really popular. I guess it was unavailable in a half-decent edition for so long. And this lovely gold-embossed Criterion disc is just gorgeous. But yeah, really great to see this going out. And I love Paul Schrader. I know he's a bit of an idiot at times. Certainly referenced the Roger Corman controversy. But he is a great filmmaker. Brilliant. So yeah, great to see that going out. And that is a little smattering of what's been renting at the video store this week. No quiz this week, mainly because I'm really delayed on posting out the last 2 weeks' winners. So apologies if you haven't got your quiz prizes. I'm just late. I've got deadlines on a couple of things. So I will get them out to you. So I don't want to load myself with a few more bits and bobs. So no quiz this week. So I'm just going to announce the answer shortly and the winner. And we'll just have a quick look down the comments section, which is great as always. I mean, just brilliant. Lee, of course, regular customer here at Snips. Love the show. Not loving the extra movies going onto my huge watch list. It is crazy. Like I said, I remember Lee coming in for the first time with a tiny watch list, and now it's just hundreds of films. Because every time you watch something, it just turns into another 3 or 4 or 5 different avenues to go down. It's crazy. But yeah, Lee, excellent customer, regular for so many years, and yeah, just loading him with so much to watch. Beowulf says, the other presenter, Gaz, is very good. Yes, he is. He must have experience in TV. He doesn't. Lee Marn says, out of the blue, what a fantastic movie that is. Not always an easy watch, but definitely a rewarding one. Yeah, Out of the Blue came in last week on BFI. Really excited to watch it. Like I said last week, I've been gradually growing so fond of Dennis Hopper's directorial efforts. So good, Catch Fire and the hot something. So yeah, can't wait. Mitch Mars, 1965. My guess for the quiz is A Kiss So Deadly. No. Nearly. Very good guess, but no. Sorry. Franco-esque. As you know, we've been on the lookout for Kai, who of course is always keen on bleak films. He's in here every week, and Franco-esque has been very kind enough to throw some suggestions out there. We have Jess Franco's Virgin Among the Living Dead. Interesting, got that up there. Ivan Patter's Cutter's Way. Right, okay, that's up there too. Sergio Corbucci's The Great Silence. Yes, that's an excellent suggestion. Fassbender's The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant. Now, that's a bold move. Have I got that? No, is the answer. But we shall try and find that somewhere. Louis Malle's The Fire Within. Bresson's O Hazard Balthazar. Speak No Evil. James Toback's Fingers. Right, okay, that's interesting. Judge Sluice's The Vanishing. Yes, that's a very good choice, isn't it? I didn't even think of that. I must recommend that one to him. Keith Gordon's Mother Night. Am I thinking about the right film there? Why have I got John Goodman in my mind? Or Jeff Bridges? 98? Possibly. I'll have to look that one up. And Eckhard Schmidt's Der Fan. Oh, have I got that somewhere? I'm sure it's knocking around here somewhere. Is that the right film? Yeah. Ah, okay, yeah. I'll recommend that one to him when he comes in this week. So thank you, Franco-esque. There are some great bleak film suggestions. So yeah, much appreciated. Film Wolf, hi Dave, Out of the Blue by Hopper is amazing and could be filed under bleak, right? Okay. Some of the most amazing realistic acting I've ever seen. Incredible piece of cinema. My obsessions, of course, led me to 8mm 2, which in its own right is a decent erotic thriller. So good to see you giving it a little bit of love. I love 8mm 2. More interesting than that is the history behind it. It was originally called The Velvet Side of Hell. I mean, what a title. What a title. But yeah, go and read my interview with Cardone on the Schlock Pit, and you can find out all the background to that movie. And it really does sell it to you and make you appreciate something that ordinarily you might have overlooked. But yeah, so that's great film off. I'm so glad to hear that. Stuart Holmes, hello Dave, another enjoyable video. I'll go with albino alligator for the quiz and look forward to being wrong again. Stuart Holmes, you're not wrong. It's albino alligator. That was this week's or last week's missing film. Kevin Spacey's directorial debut. It's a brilliant film. Matt Dillon, Faye Dunaway, Gary Sinise. I actually saw it in the cinema back in 1996, the week it came out. I was that excited about it. But yeah, well done, Stuart Holmes. I should get some prizes to you soon. But yeah, if you send me your details, I'll be sure to get them over at some point. Cal McLaughlin says something about cherry pie and such wholesome content, Dave. Thank you very much, Cal McLaughlin. Graham Reed, another episode I very much enjoyed. It's like spending an hour with you. It's like spending an hour with you learning about all sorts of wonderful films. Didn't know about the replicant release being deleted. Been meaning to pick it up for ages. Yeah, I'm sure it was a very short license on that. My guess would be the Alamo. Sorry, Graham. 60s or 2004. And yes, they are in the western sections. Or Alexander the Great with Richard Burton. That's a good guess, to be honest. That's a good guess. BM Squared, my guess for the quiz would be the Alamo, but no, it's in the western section, unfortunately. Deluxe Man Dave, love a long episode, Dave. Who doesn't? Loving the stuff. Been on a Van Damme kick recently, so definitely be checking out The Last Kumite because of Stan Bush. Exactly. I mean, what more can you say? Now I think you missed it last week, but again, boring question time. How do you rent stuff out without a BBFC certificate? Yeah, this is a tricky one. Only because I haven't really got an answer. My only answer is, do Netflix certify all of their content via the BBFC? Have a think about that. Look at the money they have, look at the power they have. And if they can get around doing that with their money and power, then why should I bow down to the BBFC and insist on everything in the store being certified? Not fair, not right. So I'm sorry, but I'm not going to play ball. Just my personal opinion, but I'm not refusing to get certain films in, and I'm not allowing people to watch certain films just because of some archaic function that charge an absolute fortune to certify a film. I think it's absolutely moronic. If all of these British films got sent over to Scarecrow Video in America, they could rent them out in a heartbeat. It wouldn't be a problem. But vice versa, oh no, gotta have a BBFC certificate. Don't agree with it. And when you have massive, powerful companies like Netflix and Amazon that can circumvent the BBFC system, then it just isn't fair. So yeah. So how do I rent stuff out with a BBFC certificate? By going, here you are, dear. There's your film. Just like that. Thank you for the question, anyway, and I hope that clarifies it to some degree. Skulder22 inside the video store always puts a smile on my face, even while sitting at home sick. Do get well, Skulder22. And yeah, to best stores for Gaz 3 Extremes 1 and 2. Yes, and he is renting those right now. And of course, Jonah Fish, massive credit to him. He's keeping an eye out for Brotherhood 6 when he's at thrift shops. I said last week that I was missing a couple of Dakota films, mainly Brotherhood 6, which I'm finding impossible to track down. The other ones are Leather Jacket Love Story, and there's a Poe one as well, which I've forgotten the name of. But yeah, so if anyone is in a thrift store in the US or Canada and stumbles across those films, then please let me know and I will send you some money. But that's it. That's the comments. Thank you again for commenting. Please let me know any thoughts or questions or suggestions or comments about films, comments about what you've seen. It would be great to read them out. And yeah, that's it. And let's do some Sleeping Giants. Sleeping Giants is upon us, which I had recorded, but I didn't turn my microphone on. So thankfully, who could believe it? But I happen to be wearing the same day another black hoodie, another black t-shirt, and my Vinegar Syndrome cap. It's crazy. You would have, who could have predicted that? So try again. Anyway, take 2 on Sleeping Giants. I do love this section because, we're 10 weeks in, 30 films, and I'm sure that one day I'm going to run out of stuff that isn't streaming. But every week it's too easy. It's too easy to find films that are just a bit of a rarity and aren't streaming. But there we go. Maybe it will change in the future. So first up, not streaming in the UK, and TV movies. They're a funny one, really, aren't they? There are a couple of TV movie books that have been released in the past 12 months or so, but generally speaking, TV movies tend to kind of fade away and disappear and just become the stuff of legend. This is one of my favourite TV movies of all time. It's To Catch a Killer. Brian Dennehy's stunning portrayal of John Wayne Gacy. It's a difficult one to recommend because it is just a grim, an unsettling film, but just a stunning portrayal of a monster by Dennehy. I think it's because we regard Dennehy as that kind of cuddly giant of an actor who's you're always pleased to see in films. But yeah, in this film he's just unreal. It's a long one. It was a 2-day epic on TV. It's 3 hours in total running time, and thank goodness for Umbrella in Australia for releasing this on DVD, because it's such a great thing to have in store. But yeah, not streaming in the UK, not available in the UK either, which is nuts. As is this. I haven't seen this since the days of VHS over here. In the Company of Man, it's Neil LaBute's pretty grim story about, just awful white-collar middle-class men. Yeah, great film. Very controversial when it came out, and probably still controversial to this day. But it's a bold film, and raises a lot of questions about sort of workplace society. And I wonder how much has changed since. But yeah, it's a very good film. I love the cover as well. I love the artwork. It's so iconic. And yeah, I do love that film. It's a difficult watch, but it's a very good film. Not streaming in the UK, but it's available in this video store. Finally, for this week's Sleeping Giant, is this one, Haunted Honeymoon, which is a weird one, to be honest, because it's MGM, and you would have thought with Amazon's partnership with MGM, you would have thought it would be streaming there somewhere, but it's not. And it's a really funny film. Very cool. Gene Wilder directed it. He stars in it with his late wife Gilda Radner. What an actress. And Dom DeLuise. I mean, what a combo. But yeah, weirdly not streaming. This is a baffling not streaming one. I don't get that, but there you go. There you go. So yeah, another recommendation for you. It is in your local video store. And it's a great watch. It's a really funny film. So yeah, they are those 3 Sleeping Giants for this week. And that's it. That's the show. Again, thank you for watching. Next week we have a bumper package of boutiques, which are just stacked up there as they've all arrived in early, which is really cool. That's always a good thing. So yeah, that'll be fun to go through those, and we might have another box of deliveries as well. see if that shows up. But yeah, so yeah, if you like the show, if you like the store, if you're interested in the day-to-day running of the store, then I heartily recommend that you get in touch via Facebook and Snips Movies, by Facebook and Instagram rather, by following Snips Movies in the search bar. And you can follow me on Twitter at the Dave Wain. Although Twitter has now changed its address bar this week, hasn't it? So it's x.com, but we shall not refer to it as X. It will always be Twitter. And yeah, keep subscribing, keep sharing. It's very humbling for you to do that kind of thing. It's good. We need to spread the word of physical media as much as we can, especially films like this that you just can't get anywhere. And it is terrifying. That's one of the most terrifying things about working here, or owning this place. It is the thought that there are other people in different parts of this country and other countries who don't have this kind of resource on their doorstep. And I know a lot of you would kill for something like this on your doorstep. And that's what frustrates me about some people kind of living around here. You think, well, hang on, you're into films, but you're not patronising your local video store. It doesn't make sense, really. Do you know how thin your and how barely populated your viewing choice is? It's crazy. I wonder if they know, or I wonder if people are just under the impression that they have access to everything. It's a baffling one. And yeah, maybe people might see me throw a punt at Honeymoon and think, well, I don't want to see that. I'm fine with what I've got on Prime or what have you, which is fine. But yeah, everyone needs a video store in their local community because it's important. It's important to get out. It's important for our mental health to talk to people about films and talk to people about what excites us and what thrills us. So, but yeah, let's get the word out there. Let's carry on sharing, and yeah, I will see you in 7 days' time.